Thought I'd make a video, just started a little bit already, cam belt on the NSX, so move the bracket down there for the auxiliary belt's off, that's all I've done so far. Move the bolt for the alternator, loosen off the tension up, loosen off that bolt there, and loosen off the plug in there. Now what we've got, we take this bracket off, so take that off there. And try and get as much stuff out of the way as possible. I'll put a jack underneath supporting on the sump with a bit of wood. I'm going to take this engine mount off. I am going to polyfill this engine mount as well while it's off. I'm going to take this bracket off here, try and clear as much stuff out of the way as possible before I start this job. I might move some of the loom out of the way as well, just to get it nice and clear. The engine mount's taken off, those two there, one there. What do I do with it? I put it over there. Those are 2 bolts for it, and that's another one for it. Then I've got this bracket here that went in there, and that big bit went through that hole, and you've got 1, 2 there on that mount. I've just taken off this here, which was that, and that sat like that from the loom. Taken off this. I like to put the bolts back in the right place, so you know where they come from. Just taking off this bolt, you know where they come from. My aim is to get this big bracket off here, give me some room to work with. Not sure what else I need to take off. Oh, this needs to come off as well. So it needs to come off. Seeing what else I need to take off. Let's get this all free. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the bolt off there. The hole just dipstick in. I'm going to take the cam covers off. There's lots of different ones there. Once I get most of the cam covers off, I'm going to put the engine at TDC. And yeah, I think this needs to come off once all the cam covers and stuff are taken off. Probably some bolts on there behind, because all the front ones are off. I think there's just some back ones that are on there or something. So just taking the 19mm, get the never been apart, the crank pulley bolt out. Just turn the engine to TDC, pulled the crank pulley out slightly. You can see there's like a little peg there. Lines up perfectly anyway when I'm looking at it. I'm going to pull that crank pulley off. Start taking off all the cam covers. The cam cover bolts, the like timing cover, the plastic ones. These are normal ones down the bottom. These two here, the longer ones. See, they're visibly longer. These 2 longer ones have come from under here. There's one here and there's one here. There's 2 here, 1 there. You feel further down. There's one there, feels like it's holding a bracket of some sort on as well. What's that? A water pipe. So let's get them off. There's one for plastic timing covers here that needs to come out. Okay, up there. Basically, this centre one here, the 12mm, that screws the cam covers in and out. So you turn it in, screws cam covers in, screw it out, screws these plastic timing covers out. However, these need to come off. They need to come off in order to actually get them plastic covers off. What a pain in the arse. That means coil packs out. Coil packs out both sides, cam covers off. Okay, take all 6 coil packs out. They've got, on the loom, they've got some nuts on there, like M6 nuts. And then you've got these ones holding the coil packs down. Them ones, both sides, put them out. And you can see you've got 1, 2, maybe 1 on, okay, you've got these ones here, possibly 3, 4, and then 5, 6 on each one. So go around the other side and just check that nothing else needs to be removed. That should pull off. This side. I'm going to take these breathers off. Take the breather off and it will pull off. Nuts are off. There's this here which goes onto that one there. Take that off. Put that there for a minute. And then you've got this bracket here. Goes on that like that. And then we've got this one, which goes on the back one. Okay, which goes on the back one there. These should pop off now. Right, so cam covers are off. Yeah, we'll be getting a clean in the paint. Whilst I'm here, I'm just going to cover these over and make sure at TDC on the cam gears. Now, I can see an arrow there. I'm guessing over 2 arrows need to point to go. I'm going to take off the plastic covers first. Make sure I've got all the bolts like that. Take off the plastic covers and make sure it's got TDC. Okay, on this timing cover, there's a hidden bolt. Just there. That one there. Sits in, sort of flush in the cover. Another one. Got out now, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them small ones. 2 of the big ones. Maybe some more, I'm not sure yet. Pull that off. It should come off now. Looks like it wants to come off, and yes it does. So how am I going to get this out? Easy, that way. Put that out. That's off. Alright. Put that up there. So look where the timing marks are. Feels like there's a time mark on the bottom there. Okay. You see my finger is there. There's another bolt there just found. So that makes 9. So that one needs to come out just there. Which is on this side there. Right, it's out. So you need to jack the engine up a little bit to get it out. As you can see, the timing cover is now loose. Now this one seems to have popped off quite nicely. Oh, get out of the way. It seems to have popped off quite nicely. Just seeing which way is the best way to get it out. I'm thinking slide it this way maybe. Let's see. Water pump's in the way. Oh, okay. Push it that end down. Push it the right end down, and then I wonder if it will go in from the down from the bottom. Will it go down? No. It's looking very interesting to come out. Let me see. Okay, dipstick kind of in the way. Okay, it comes up the top like that. Get these out of the way. Almost there. What am I? The adjustment screw, take that out. So let's see. Get this stuff out of the way. Drop it down. Might need to do this with 2 hands. Oh no, it's coming up. There we go. Push it forward. Get that past there. There we are. It's coming out. Doing this 1 hand, guys. Appreciate, please. What's it trying to miss? Okay, then one's at the back. There we are. Out. Now the last one to get out. Get out in a minute. Guys, this bolt that goes through the plastic timing cover, do not undo that because that holds the tensioner on. Now I'm going to have to TDC everything by hand before I put the new belt on. It's a bit of a pain in the arse, but I'm sure we'll get it right. And that one goes sticks out through that on the other side, it goes through the other side, and I think the spring goes round that possibly. It's tension in it. So anyway, taking the spring off. There's a post the spring goes to on there. Ball ache. Put them together. Takes the tensioner off. That will come off. Cam belt's off now anyway. Great. Let's see. That one goes on a post. No, actually, I think the spring goes on. No, the spring goes on there. So the spring, I think, goes like that. Or it goes like, how does it go? Possibly. I'm not sure if that lines up with something, but I would assume that this goes around there on the post. Let me see. I'm sure I'll work it out anyway. A little peg down here somewhere where this goes on to. There it is there. That's the peg. Peg down there. And I'll work it out anyway. Washer that goes on underneath here as well. Washer. Okay. Put that on the side. Take the cam belt off then, I guess. What a pain. There's another screw on this timing cover too. Need to get that off further down there. So in total we should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hang on 1 second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We'll have 10 of them short ones and 2 of these long ones. The last plastic timing cover bolt you want to get is literally, if I see it, let me see, get it from here. I think it's literally there. Get that out. There it is. Crappy little bracket. Should come off now. Looks like it's loose. Which way to come out though is a question. I think. No idea how it's going to come out, this one. It's very, very tight up here. Have to work it out. To get this one out, I'm going to twist it, I suppose, clockwise, 90 degrees. Put that like that. Should come out. Yeah, with a bit of persuasion maybe. It's come quite far. Just got to get it over this. There you are. It's out. Pain in the backside. Genuine Honda belt, 29 years old, eh? Still looking alright to be fair. I mean, it's a bit worse for wear, but belt's off. Everything's looking actually mighty clean in there, but I'm going to place a water pump anyway. This backing plate comes off this way here. If you can see that, it goes that way. If I flip it the other way, this is the back surface. Okay, you can see the teeth marks in the back. Goes on this way, but actually, this is. There's an arrow. Where is it? There's an arrow, roughly there. Can you see that arrow? A bit dirty. There is an arrow there. Right, see it. And then there's an arrow on this one. So I need to. Someone's coloured it in. That needs to go around to there to meet that arrow. So someone's marked this in, but it's incorrect off the screw. I don't know why. Where's that gone? On this wheel, thankfully, the mark I set it up to was this one here, but that is incorrect. Doesn't appear to be any other marks on it. Oh, there is. There we are. Them ones should have marked up to these ones here. I'll get it all set up correctly. Okay, that's now fine. There's a little, you can see it on there, but there's a little arrow on this one here. Right. So I painted it in, they filled it in, you can't really see it, but now them two are lined up. Perfect. The wood ruffles at the top. Right, this is on the front bank. Right, you've got, if I just get down here and have a look. Right, can you see there's a number 1 there and there's a line? Well, that number 1, the line, needs to line up with this bit here. So it needs to line up. Must be some other time marks as well, so I'll make sure they're exact, but basically like that. Right, this is the back ones, very hard to see. If you can see it, there, pointing my finger, this bit here is timing mark. There, that needs to line up with this one. It's got a gap in it there on the back. Okay, this one needs to turn around a little bit. On the front, it's very hard to see. There is a mark just there, and on the back one, if you feel around the front, there's a line on the front. You can feel it with your finger. You can feel it with your finger where it is, just there. Next job, take off the water pump. I mean, this one looks like new, it's the original pump. Take off all the bolts for that and clean it all up and get ready to put the new water pump on. New water pump here from Rock Auto. Okay, that's the part number. Okay, got new thermostat to put in, low temp one. Got a new tensioner to put on. And I've got I don't know what it's all like. What is this one? New cam seals, I think. I'm not going to bother doing the cam seals. Keep them as spares. But anyway, over here we've got, try and keep that safe. Probably got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe 9. 1 second, check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9, yep, 9 to come off. Alright, so we'll get them off. Look all like 10 mils to me. Get that off. Compare them. And I've got a new O-ring here, and I will put a bit of Hylamar on that before I put it back on. Right, water pump's off. Grabbed it by that peg there. I'm just going to put it out this way. There we go. Yuck, yuck, yuck. Look at that. You can tell this bit sat in some coolant for a little bit, eh? Jesus. What the hell? I was doing a bit of reading last night, and you can lock the cam gears with a 5mm drill bit, or just a 5mm pin, so I've got these drill bits here. So the easiest thing available is 5mm. Push them in, locks the cams. The cams are now locked in place. You can see. Line up, 2 marks on the gears, get a better photo of it. And on this side, they have moved slightly, so I'm going to lock them. Turn the torch on, but I haven't been able to get them in there yet, so I'm going to put a couple in holes here, one there, and one there. Right, in fact, if you see on this one here, this one's not lined up, you can see the pinhole, okay, and you can see dropped in about that much as out, in, okay, there, dropped in a little bit. This cam needs to rotate round till it fits in there, and it'll line up and see it, push in. So, all the pins are in. Now, whatever mark that was there was clearly incorrect because the pin wanted to go in there. Now, I don't know if you can see, but there is a very, very slight mark on that back cam gear. Very slight line. And on this one here, there is also a very slight mark where they meet the head just there. So they do line up now. On this side, you've got the indent there and you've got the line on this gear. So that should be correct. And they look like they're about half a tooth off of each other, but the pins are in, so there's not really, there's a little bit of movement on that actually. There's a little bit of movement on that. This way, there's a little bit of movement on that one too. So I'll put the belt on. That should pull them where they need to be. Once the teeth will line up on the belt. Right. Clean up water pump area and get ready to put the water pump on. The best place to clean the water pump surface is from the bottom. It's all pretty clean. There's a bit of, wipe it off, there's a bit of just fluid on there. I'll make it dirty again now. Fucking great. Clean it off again. Anyway, clean it off. Get the water pump ready to go on. The water pump's done, seal's on. A bit of Hylamar underneath seal, a bit of Hylamar on top, not too much, just lightly smeared on. Now, before you do that, you need to make sure that there are, this is my first time doing this by the way, you've got that there, peg in, and you've got a peg up there as well. Okay, you've got both the pegs in. I'll clean this up actually, didn't see that was that dirty. I'll clean it up. Didn't have a light in here before. I'll clean this up before I put it on. Didn't see that before up there. Basically make sure you've got the two pegs in, otherwise you could get a timing belt off slightly because there's a bit of movement in the bolts. Should be a tooth or half a tooth off. Put it on. Put it in from the top, this way, same way you got it out. Line it up and then you put the bolts in loosely. Okay, one thing to note, on this one it's got like a relief here, okay, on this old water pump. This is the old one, okay? Right, original water pump. One I've got supplied has got a relief coming out here, right? From there, instead of being up here, right? This sticks out quite a bit. So, you need to get a new timing cover or cut a hole, which I'm going to do. I'm going to cut a hole. I mean, I think people just get new ones. I'm just going to cut a hole in mine so it fits in. Alright, it's all on. I just need to crisscross pattern. I'm loosely putting all the bolts, just need to crisscross pattern. I'm going to leave it for about 15 minutes, let the Hylamar go off a little bit, then tighten it all up. So, just going to get all the bolts, you see, all just finger tighten in a minute. Gonna get them all done. All the bolts, which are going crisscross patterns. I'm going to go like 1, sort of 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think it's 9 there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, 9 I think. Yeah, 9. Then done. I've just put a hole there, roughly where I think it's got to go. Saves buying your timing cover. And that's for that bit that pokes out of the water pump, relief down there if you can see it. Done that 16mm, and I'll put a rubber grommet in there once it's on, just to fill up the hole a bit more. Water pump's on nicely, all tightened up, all 9 bolts. You can see there's a little Hylamar squeezed out. I waited 15 minutes for it to go off a little bit and tightened it all up all the way around. Went round like that. Did the top first and the bottom, then I just went round one by one. Make sure it's all seated evenly. Here's a tensioner, it's going to go on next. There's a part number on it. Part number. Okay. That's 4359770. Right. This tension is going to go on next with a bolt just very loosely through it. And that bolt and washer there. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to lube up the pin with a little bit of copper grease on the block, which is that one right down there, if you can see it. Let me zoom in. That one right in the middle of the screen, there's a little pin there. Right, that bit goes on there. Where's it gone? And the spring will go on here, the bolt goes through. I'm going to put a little copper grease on the end of the bolt as well, put it on, alright? Just loosely, finger tight. So that's on, just done it just finger tight so you can still move backwards and forwards. Washers on there as you can see. Also worth noting, just to make sure you can move that it's still free once you tighten it up. Make sure it's all good before you put anything else on. Which it is, it's all nice and good, moving very nice as it was off the car. Right, put the timing belt on time I think. Make sure everything's still timed up. Yep, that's facing where it needs to be. Yep. Okay. And again, just make sure this wood rough key is at the top. Okay. And that's how you know that that is the timing mark that needs to be there. Alright. I think it might be belt on time. The new Gates timing belt, and that's a number on it, T231. It's the exact OEM belt for the Honda. Exact one they use, Gates belt. Get this put on. Right, okay, cam belt is on. Now, the way I've had to set it because of the pins, okay, everything is ever so slightly right. So everything's ever so slightly, maybe about half or a quarter of a tooth clockwise. So if you see this is upside down obviously. This one's sort of pointed down, that one's sort of pointed up slightly. Again, this one, oh, put the torch on. And this one at the back, you've got this one's ever so slightly up, and that one at the back is ever so slightly down, which is correct. Which means, and they all kind of tension nicely. It goes round here like that, okay, the belt goes like that from that down here. This is, I've had to turn it ever so slightly clockwise to line it all up exact, okay? That's all that. Now, last thing I do is put it over here. I need to get the spring on there and tension that, and then I'll release the pins and make sure everything's fine. Turn it all round, make sure it all lines up. And put the spring on now. The spring goes in that little bit there, over to that bit there on the water pump. So I'm going to pull the pins out. Okay, last one, pull it out. Now, the crank is where we want to sort of reference off of, right? And the crank's going to pull all this, so that side of the belt off the crank is the slack side, running this way. So, I'm going to start by just taking out the tension in this top bit here by just tugging on this pulley a little bit. Once that should put a little bit loose down here, and then here, so I'm going to pull this one a little bit, then pull that one a little bit, takes out slack, then pull the crank round with a pulley, and then there should be some slack in the bottom. Right, so I've done that, put the crank pin on here and turned it round. You can see this side now is alright, it's tight. This side, loose, right? Like this one here, belt is quite loose, so we need to tension this tensioner. We need to give that a good bit of tension. Push it out, put some more tension on it. Just nip that tensioning bolt up there. I mean, I'm taking a little bit of slack out. It's not too much in there now, you know, but I think it needs a bit more tension in. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go around with it, just make sure everything sits where it wants to sit. I'm going to tension it a little bit more and just check the timing marks. These are only loosely on there, so not mark the belt or anything. Take these off. It's kind of very easy. It's fine. Yep, just going to do that. Go around with it. And, I mean, for me, that's too much deflection. It needs to go a bit more. Go around with it and see what it does. Can't turn the pulley there for now. It's tight. You can't physically turn that. It's all right. Pulley on. I'm going to keep rotating it around until it's at TDC again. And well, marks there, so I'm going to have to go basically off of, where's a bloody mark on this? Is there one there? Okay, there's a mark there on top, which you can't really see. Is it? Is that the mark? Do you know what, I'm going to put a pen mark on it, but it's basically, let me see. mark there? Look, there's one there. This is the stupidest fucking car ever. Anyway, I wonder if engineers are idiots. I'm going to turn it around, turn it around, look at the top cam, see where TDC is, and the bottom one should hopefully be here. I'll pull that off and hopefully see it. I've gone around a few times. If you look at the front there, those two marks line up. It's a bit hard to see from here, but you've got, hold that there. You've got that line on here and that indent on here line up. If you look at the back, see two time marks line up. Okay, you've got the indent on that wheel there. I'm gonna line that one line up. If you look at this one, the ones we can see, a bit hard to see, but you've got the, get a better angle. You've got the indent on this front one, just get a finger on there, just like there, indent, line up, and you've got a line just line up there. So that's good. Just about see it. Just about see it. So all we need to do now, obviously there's going to be tension on this side, it's been nicely tensioned, which it is. I just need to, this belt here, it's a bit slack. So I need to tension that here, push that, tension that, and that should be good. Because now all the slack's out of it, I'll take that tension out that side to find a way of doing that. But yeah, this should be at, can't exactly see it here, but I have to pull this gear off to check it's a TDC, but I'm sure it is. Alright, pull that off and check it. Anyway, I should put a mark on the back of that gear, shouldn't I really, so I could talk, so I could tell. I'm going to take that tension off now while it's and put tension on, sorry, loosen off tension and put tension on. So just taking the pulley off, everything's still lined up, TDC. That line is perfect with that dot there. Absolutely smashing. Don't know what the fuss was about. Tension the belt's nice. Tension the upper belt is nice. Tension across the cam should be nice, as you see, it's still lined up. I have double checked it, triple checked it. Just wanted to be sure. So I ain't got a starter on that in a minute, so I can't turn it over. The lines are marked up. Tension's nice. Tension's nice. You can't see down there because it's dark, but they are lined up. Happy days. Yeah. Put the crank pulley back on, and put the timing covers back on, and job done. I've tightened up the tension as well. I did lever a little bit to take the slack out a little bit more. I'll show you the position of it on the tensioner. In terms of the bolt, we can see that. Let's see. It's sitting slightly left. I'll get it, hang on, I'll turn the light on, give me a sec. Pretty central, but it's a bit more left than it is right, if that makes sense. There's a bit more gap on this side. Tensioned pretty nicely, I think. I think that'll do. I sort of think that's alright. It obviously goes on that way. I think we're going to tighten it up now. Make sure it's double tight again, and yeah, put everything back together. Clean up all this crap down here. So I thought I'd clean and paint these before I go on. I'll clean the inside and clean the outside. I need to just clean this one and paint this one. Taking the gaskets out, putting new gaskets in, clean all this up. Wait and see the result, you're going to love it. I just need to clean up all these surfaces here. They're pretty dirty. Clean all that up. And get ready to put the cam covers back on. I can put the timing covers back on. So I might put timing covers on first. Here's the cam covers. Thought I'd do something a bit funny on them, so that'll be seen underneath the seen under the, what do you call it, under the glass hatch. So it looks quite cool. Quite happy with that. Just going to start putting the timing covers on. So I thought I'd start with this one here, it's easily accessible. So just put that bolt in, the one at the back. I mean, it's good to know how many you need. On this one there's 1, 2, 3, 4. And there's 4 on this one, I believe. I've put 2 in. I've got 1 down here to do. And there should be 1 on the other side somewhere. It's over here, is it? There. Right there. There's 4 there. That should be it. I'm trying to finger tighten for now. Bit of copper grease on them as we go. Just a little bit, not too much. There you go, that's enough. Makes it easy to get out again. Right guys, and there it is. She's in. Have a laugh at that. All done, cam belt done. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, share. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Click subscribe. Another cam belt done. Looks alright that. Look good with a bit dirty, but yeah, white. Big supercharge on there, look alright. Thank you very much. Looks nice. So I've got to mention that I'm going to leave off the alternator tensioner and the alternator and the aircon pump for now. I'll probably do aircon delete anyway, but I need to make up a supercharger bracket here for my supercharger, which is a big old pro charger there. So I'm going to leave that off for now. You guys can put yours back on, obviously. And I thought I ordered the rocker cover gaskets, but I don't have any here, so I'm going to have to get some, before I put all this back on, nut it all up and put the coil packs back in. I'm going to have to get some rocker cover gaskets. But no, thank you very much for watching, guys. Please leave comments, like, share, subscribe. Hope this is my first time doing it. I haven't watched any tutorials or anything, so I hope that all works out well for you. Obviously got a dipstick bolt to put back in there. Yeah, hope it all works out for you if you're following this video, and make sure you watch it all, you know, before attempting it. It'd be easy if you watch the video first. And yeah, thank you very much. And it's going to look good. I'm probably going to paint the car yellow or black, so that'll look good anyway. Alright, thank you, Cara. Thanks for letting me work on you. Yeah, it's all done. Right guys, thank you very much. Like, share, subscribe. See you later. Bye. Thought I'd make a video